Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program with me, Matthias Weiss, and today we are going interplanetary. Yes, I finally designed a spacecraft which is capable to go to Duna and back, and yeah, after the moon we shoot for Duna. And this is our spacecraft already at the launchpad. Some people who have downloaded my KSS do-it-yourself kit may recognize the design of this spacecraft. It's based on my Proteus tanker spacecraft, but I modified it with these radioactive Nerva engines. And yeah, we have capability to bring some additional crew with us, and of course an escape tower. And the actual landing vehicle is already up in a 200-kilometer orbit, and we are ready now to go and meet the second spacecraft. And we need these crew tank here because the other spacecraft, the lander, atmospheric lander, has already crew on board, so the actual total mission crew for this mission will be 5 Kerbals, 2 in the lander and 3 in the command module. And everything is set up, so we are programmed to meet with our spacecraft in orbit. And after that we'll have to wait a little bit because our phase angle for Duna should be something about 43 or 44.36 degrees, I think. So we have to go in a parking orbit first. But first of all, the launch. Yeah. The booster stage of the spacecraft is just standard setup, like I always use it for my spacecraft lately. It's pretty efficient, but it is capable to bring us into a 200-kilometer orbit, and that's all what matters here. So, what else can I say about our actual interplanetary ship we have here? We have plenty of fuel. Once we are in orbit, we have 2 big fuel tanks, and these fuel tanks for the 2 engines. It's more than enough. It should be no problem to go to Joule or anywhere in the system. I think we have something like 9,500 meters per second delta V left when we are in orbit. So, or yeah. Oh no, it's 8,600. 43 minutes of maximum thrust burn. Yeah, the total mass, our launch mass, was about 500 tons, which is quite a bit. But as an interplanetary mission is always something special and much more complicated than just going to the moon or Minmus. Of course, I already tried it, and yes, it works. This vessel is totally capable to go there with plenty of fuel left, and the lander is actually working too. So. Even though it will be a full-time mission as always, in this video we have just the launch phase and the rendezvous in space with a little Easter egg you will see. But yeah, you will see that once we get there. Okay, we're just under 10 kilometers, and which means the burnout of our first stage. A speed of around 200 meters per second, which is pretty good. It really makes no sense to go any faster when you're so low in the atmosphere, because otherwise the drag would be, you would be essentially wasting fuel. Just for pushing against the air resistance. Of course I could work on my booster stage design, but to be honest, I built this one once and I tried it in different configurations, and it's wonderful modular, so you can make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, depending on your payload, and it's just so convenient to use. And at the moment it is the best I got, and it's pretty efficient. And it has mag jab on the main booster in the middle, and even the highest payload I ever put on it, it's my Proteus tanker, or this one too. I think once we are in 200 kilometer orbit, we have a 35-second burn left in the booster stage, which is more than enough to deorbit it afterwards. So we don't leave anything in space. And yeah, this is one essential thing about the mission. In total, we don't leave any debris in space. So after we landed on Duna, we have the possibility to deorbit our lander, and when we go back, we just drop everything before re-entry, so we don't leave anything back in space. And there goes the second booster stage. And as always, this is a pretty long rocket, so it gets a little bit wobbly. But that's the game mechanics, I can't do anything about that. Maybe except putting struts all over it, but yeah, it doesn't look good. Yeah, we have good, nice G-force here, not too heavy pushing. Current thrust to weight ratio is 1.7, which is quite good, or at least good enough. Because it's still 100 tons and only 1,500 kilonewtons thrust from the one mainsail engine we have here. MacJab has its problems getting it into a stable 200 kilometer orbit, so we will probably just end up in an orbit like 220, 170 kilometers, but that's no problem. So only a few slight corrections with our radioactive engines, and we should be fine. Yeah, the plan to do is meet up with our lander craft, which is atmospheric lander, which is waiting in space, and dock with it, and then we go for a parking orbit probably, or maybe in the next episode. I don't know yet. This is a live recording as always, so you see all my mistakes. Phase angle is 50 degrees, so we have 7 degrees to wait in the parking orbit, but I wanted a little bit of reserve. And I made a mistake. With all the talking, I forgot to throw away our escape tower. So actually, normally I do it on a suborbital trajectory, but I have to do it right now because it's blocking our docking port. This, of course, will orbit kerbin and will stay in space, which I don't like. I can't do anything about that now. Yeah, 220, 180, and we can jettison. Oh, it has only a 9-second burn left. That is crazy. So there it goes. Extend panels. For some reason it just killed my MacJep, so I will be back in a minute. 1 second. Yeah, right, I'm back. I just had to go to the space center and back to the mission. Okay, there's our target, 5 kilometers away. That's not so good. So switch on the engines and start with a direct burn towards our target to get a little bit closer. Closest approach distance. Slowly. Let's get it a little bit closer. So we don't really have to worry about fuel at this moment, because on the one hand we have plenty of fuel left, and on the other hand, I will show you in a minute. So this is the first burn. To come a little closer. Normally I get better rendezvous, like inside 2.5 kilometers range, but this time it was not so good. So but we can fix that. Just kill our relative velocity. Before we go for a direct approach again. And back on target. The closer we get, the easier it should be to get a nice close approach. And yeah, you see. Approach distance is 200. 200 is okay. 200 meters for the first. In 2 minutes, we will be at our closest approach. And I have to apologize because it will be very, very laggy. Because actually I did not tell you one thing. We are not going directly to meet with our waiting craft in orbit. Actually our craft in orbit, there's a lag. Actually our craft in orbit is docked to our Kerbal space station. So yes, in this episode we will go for docking maneuver with the KSS to transfer additional fuel into the tank. Everything we used here will be replaced, and to exchange the crew, because we want to have Jebediah, Bob and Bill on this mission, but they are already on the station, so we will dock, transfer the crew, and in the next episode we will undock and go for our interplanetary intercept maneuver with Duna. If we look again at the phase angles, we have plenty of time to accomplish that. So So 30 seconds until the closest approach, so we start killing off our velocity. So I have to see where is the perfect docking spot. Ah, okay. There it is. If you look at the space station on the left side, you see a tanker docked, and our lander craft is actually around here. We have to go from the right side to the docking port on the right. The frame rate is really low with 9 frames, but hey, it took 11 flights to get every module which is docked. Oh no, yeah, I think 11 flights with the lander docked right now to get everything up into orbit, dock it together. So it's close to 1,000 parts or maybe more. So it's really heavy for the physics engine here. Kill our velocity. As close to 0 as possible. And let's go again on a direct course. Yeah, so this is in two aspects. This is like a premiere for me because I've never gone to interplanetary space, at least in a video before, and I never showed you my actual space station, which I have put up with version 0.18. So okay, from now on, this will be a manual approach. Closest approach distance is 40 meters. But now I only use the kill rotation button and do the rest with RCS. The kill rotation button from Smart ASS just helps you if you don't put your RCS perfectly aligned with the center of mass, then it starts to turn your ship if you don't work with the SAS button. But I don't want that, or I don't need that. So I use the kill rotation and lets me do anything I want. And because this is a design with pretty good defined up, down, left, right orientation, it's pretty easy to get a feeling which buttons to press, and so we can speed up things a little. Okay. Let's try to get a little closer. So we're drifting to the left, so we try to kill off that. And of course, a little bit more speed. that direction. Docking is always very time intense if you want to do it correctly. And in this case it's especially very complicated because we have to go around the station. We want to dock here, and yeah, we are pretty far away from that. So we use time acceleration again to get us into a little better position. And yeah, that should be good. For now, for the next correction, well, okay, what we can do now is for last time use the kill relative velocity function, because now we are on a pretty good approach vector. So this docking port here will be our target. Okay, that's it. Back to kill rotation. And let's go there. Still a long way, so whoa, not so fast, not so fast. Okay, we're drifting into that direction, so a little bit. Let's go. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, that's close enough. Let's hit the brakes. Time to switch the lights on. Okay. Now we have to swing into the correct position to prepare for docking. Coming in a little bit fast, so to push back a little. Of course, some minor corrections. Oh. Okay. Hit the brakes, and yeah, of course, we are much too close. So right now we should be in a good position. So back to kill rotation. We're drifting to that side, so to brake. And some corrections here. Still okay. So from now on it's only minimal corrections. So we have to go a little bit up to there and a little bit up. Docking needs time if you want to do it correctly, and if you don't want to let it look totally stupid, you need to be patient. Now we're trying to get things aligned a little bit there, and vertically we are pretty good. So we're almost there. It's a little bit more, and okay. Now we should be good. Minimal corrections. Still drifting a little bit too high. Oh no, 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 no! I hate it. Don't know what my mouse did there, but I accidentally clicked on the wrong button, but luckily we are already on a docking course. And we are docked. So, the docking took a little bit longer than expected, and my phone is ringing, which is very annoying right now. So, thank you for watching this episode. In the next episode we will undock our lander, which I can show you here. You can see here the atmospheric lander. And rendezvous with our two spacecrafts next to the station and go for interplanetary course. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. The docking was very good, except for the last few meters where I accidentally hit the wrong button. I'm sorry guys, but I think you get an idea. So it's not so, it's really easy, to be honest, to get things docked, even if you have to go past this big station. Thank you for watching. My name is Matthias Weiss, and see you in the next episode of Kerbal Space Program. Fly safe.